Lilo Stitch had a fantastic opening weekend. How fantastic? Well, it did so well that we should pretty much accept the fact that we'll be getting live-action remakes for the rest of our lives. So it's time for me to accept the fact that I can't swim against the stream forever, and that live-action Hercules is on the way. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what I want to see from live-action Hercules in order for me to consider it actually good. But first, please like, subscribe, and share. Anything you can do will help my channel reach more people. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that bell icon so you can get my videos as soon as they drop. Yes, Lilo Stitch made like $350 million in its opening Memorial Day weekend. And that's pretty fantastic for a movie where they didn't even have to write the plot. Not that there was much of a plot in the first place, but then again, it was a children's cartoon. But people flocked to the theaters in order to see the movie that they had already seen, but this time in slightly more live action. I mean, Stitch isn't real, but neither is anything else in almost any of the other live action remakes that they've made, but people want to spend some money and take their kids and not think about having to do anything for a few hours, so here we go. So more than likely, the Hercules remake is still on its way. So what should we hope for in order for this movie to actually be good? Well, I want to see the movie be at least a PG rating. They're not going to actually make it PG-13, but there needs to be some violence. The man had a sword and fought monsters for half of the movie. He needs to have a sword and fight monsters for half of the live-action movie. That shouldn't seem like that hard of a request, but I guess we'll see what the movie actually looks like when it comes out. Next is we need the whole origin story. I don't want it to start with him being an adult. I want the whole scene with all the gods celebrating the birth of the baby, the poisoning of the baby, the survival of the baby, the growing up, etc., etc. This better not start with Hercules being a teenager. We're going to need to see a live-action Pegasus. And I guess they can do it. I mean, we have How to Train Your Dragon coming out soon, and that looks fair enough. And I don't want it to just be a horse that he's riding on with wings. We need to have some personality. Remember, Pegasus had a personality, an angry personality that was jealous of Meg. We need to see that in this horse. Meg herself needs to have a voice, and she needs to be able to stand up to all the men that are on the screen. The fact is that Megara had a ton of spunk to her, and the character better reflect that in this movie. She didn't want to be seen as a damsel in distress, so we better not see her as a damsel in distress in this live-action remake. She needs to have a past where she was hurt by men. Heck, throw in an actual flashback with her talking about everything bad that happened to her before she signed on with Hades. And now let's talk about Hades. Frankly, I really won't accept anyone outside of James Woods. Just make it James Woods. He's voiced the character in all of the Kingdom Hearts games. He's done all these extra little bits as Hades. He wants to play Hades. Make it James Woods. And I know certain people might not like James Woods for his political talks. Just ignore it. I don't care. I don't care about anything else he said. James Woods is Hades. He's alive. He's healthy. He can play it. Don't pick anyone else. And frankly, the same thing goes for Danny DeVito's character. I don't want to see anyone else play Phil other than Danny DeVito. He literally looks like the character. If not, whatever actor gets to play the character will be compared to Danny DeVito, and people will say, why, oh why, did people not pick Danny DeVito? I don't care if this person does a perfect job. They will not be as good as Danny DeVito. And he's still alive for another 5 to 10 years, so take your chance now, Disney. You know, they tried to replace Genie with Will Smith, and it didn't go over well. Yes, Robin Williams had already passed away, but he probably still would have been better than Will Smith. Sorry, don't like Will Smith anymore. Maybe it's just that he physically attacked somebody on live TV, and there was no punishment for that. Okay, who should play Hercules? Well, they should probably pick a buff guy that's Greek. Seems pretty straightforward. He's supposed to look like a normal human that lives amongst the Greeks when he's being raised by his parents. So he should look like a normal person that's living amongst the Greeks. If they go for something else, it's going to have people complaining online. I don't know how else to say this, but we've already done this with Snow White and Little Mermaid, and it hasn't gone too well for Disney. They should just embrace the fact that it's a Greek character, so pick a Greek human to play the Greek character. This would be so straightforward for anyone else. And yes, there's going to be CGI for all the titans and the monsters. As for the gods, I don't know. pick someone that looks like each of the characters. That really is less important. Those characters were barely on screen for 5 minutes at the beginning of the movie, 5 minutes at the end. A lot of the actors that voiced those characters are dead now. Just pick somebody new that kind of reflects it. Really though, Hades and Phil already have their actors selected. I'm sorry. These are going to be the big ones that will piss me off if they choose somebody else. And really, Disney, if you're going to make this movie, just copy the original plot. Don't change it up. Almost do frame for frame. Promise people a live-action version of Hercules and deliver on that. We don't need anything different. I want a spunky Meg because Meg was spunky in the original film. That's what makes her character able to stay spunky. She doesn't need to be a damsel in distress. She doesn't need to be anything different than just a live-action version of what we already got. Also, please stay away from Hercules in high school. That whole storyline with that cartoon, not very good. None of that needs to be referenced in this movie. All they need to do is follow my requests. If they follow my requests to a T, then they've made a live-action version of Hercules, which was my favorite movie that Disney made in the 90s. And it could be the only live-action movie that Disney's made that I actually like. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Make sure to click that subscribe button and check out those videos on screen now.